Hey everyone, my name is Clyde and welcome to another episode of Play by Play, this time featuring the French battleship Richelieu. We're going to call it the Richelieu because it's a little easier for my American tongue to pronounce, but let me tell you, this boat is a beast. It's got the two turret configuration with 4 barrels apiece. It's kind of similar to how the Dunkirk, a premium French tier 6 battleship, is set up. And what's cool about that setup is you can stay bow in. You can point your tankiest armor at the enemy while you're gunning them down in this thing. And we're going to get right into all the action. But first, I know this video is just getting started, but I want to thank you for being here. If you like what you see today, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend about Play by Play. It really helps the channel, and I would definitely appreciate it. This was an interesting match that I found myself in, and the reason for that was partly because Matchmaker kind of had a fit, and it actually put me into a match with only 9 ships on each side. In addition to the fact that there's only 9 ships per side, each team has 2 aircraft carriers, so that means the airplane to ship ratio is very high in this battle. In fact, I think I'm going to have so much trouble with airplanes, I'm going to put a counter up in the corner so that we can keep track of how many airplanes I shoot down during this video. At the outset of this match, the Graf Spee was kind of all alone over in that northeast corner. You may have noticed that on the mini-map if you were being eagle-eyed and observant. And he even made some comments in all chat about that. You know, I encouraged him to come over and join the rest of the fleet. But as we've begun to move in, we could see that the enemy team also was shifting to the west. And so the Graf Spee decided that he was going to sail into the Charlie Cap and see what he could do about taking that cap. I was a little worried about his safety, and I had a couple of destroyers, you can see them ahead of me now, or a destroyer and a cruiser there, that were kind of covering the middle there, so I felt like maybe it was going to be a good idea if I sailed over to the Charlie Cap as well and supported the Graf Spee. After World War I, the Allies and the Central Powers signed the Treaty of Versailles, and in this treaty, restrictions were placed on German shipbuilding tonnage. Because of this, the British called the Graf Spee a pocket battleship. It had these big old battleship guns on a lightly armored cruiser hull. But I digress. So I thought, well, if he goes over there and bumps into a couple of ships, he's going to get beat up. And lo and behold, there's a Warspite over there. That is the quintessential type of ship that would give a ship like the Graf Spee trouble. It's a tier 6 British battleship that can really pack a punch. So I've thrown a few shells around in this match, haven't done any damage yet, I've just been scaring people. There's my first airplane kill. The carriers have located me, and they're dropping torpedoes on me. Now, one thing that's important to kind of note about aircraft carriers is a skilled aircraft carrier captain isn't always looking for the ship that has the lowest AA rating. They're usually looking for the ship that's off by itself. And I am very much off by myself, and I'm not watching where I'm going. And I've run into an island. Looks like it's shore leave for the sailors of the Richelieu. So throw this thing in reverse. I can see the Graf Spee is already in a fight with what looks like a Shores over there. It's a Russian cruiser. And so I throw it in reverse, and I want to get over there to help out my Graf Spee buddy. The Shores has small guns, but they shoot fast. The Graf Spee has big guns, but they shoot slow. But it looks like that works out. Graf Spee nails the kill. I give him a good job in all chat there, or in team chat, by hitting the F11 button. And that's a good thing to do, right? Is stay in communication with your team. If you watch the chat box in this match, there's a lot of communication going on between myself and the Graf Spee. And that was really important for us on this side of the map because we knew that we were only, 2, maybe 3 ships, if you count this destroyer, against the whole world. And that Warspite kept sailing on in, and he's definitely a threat. Even to me, the Warspite packs a punch. I'm 2 tiers up from that ship. I shouldn't be as afraid of it as I was, but that ship can do some damage. Obviously, you can see that I got a piece of him right there, too. And that turned him around. He's going to run away a little bit. 10,000 damage in a single salvo is pretty spooky for any ship, that's for sure. I throw a couple more at him, and I rush over to support my Graf Spee buddy as he goes into Charlie. Got a little bit more damage on the Warspite there. At this point, we're not sure what we're going to bump into over there. We know it's not going to be a lot of ships because we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 track reports, or 7 ship positions on the mini-map right now. So there's only a couple of ships that we haven't seen yet. And most of the enemy ships are on the west or middle caps. In fact, they've already got both of those caps captured. and we're not, we're not looking so good. We haven't gotten any captures yet. I think my team on the west is playing smart. They're staying safe and protecting their hit points, especially in a battle where there's only 9 ships on your team instead of the normal 12. Every hit point you have is now worth more, right? If there are fewer hit points to take and to give from each team, your ability to be alive and to be around and to do damage is worth every, that much more, basically, as a result of the fact that there's only 9 sources of damage on your team and 9 sources of damage on the enemy team as well. It just makes every player's actions that much more important. So we sail into Charlie, and we're watching this Warspite. Me and the Graf Spee, we're doing some communications there. He's got some torpedoes flying already. It looks like we're going to get the cap here without much contest, which is good news. But I've already had, a bunch of encounters with airplanes. The Graf Spee is not known for its AA. I don't think it's bad, but it's not particularly good. It does have an AA booster, a turbo AA consumable, which I do not have in the battleship. So obviously when we're together, carrier captains, even non-carrier captains, we'll talk about our AA bubble. The AA bubble is the area around your ship where your anti-aircraft guns can fire, and they deliver damage. Wargaming's changed how this works multiple times over the years, and I wouldn't say right now that I have a perfect knowledge of how it works, but essentially you can assume that around your ship, whatever your AA range is, there is consistent damage being done to airplanes that enter that area. If 2 ships are together, they combine that damage. I think there might be some sort of a reduction that Wargaming's applied so that, you can't create an invincible AA bubble necessarily, but for gameplay purposes. But essentially, ships together are stronger against airplanes than ships apart. And so that's why I said earlier, CV captains are going to be out there looking for ships that are by themselves. Not necessarily the ship with the worst AA, because that person could be sailed in and amongst other friends that are keeping them safe. So I'm pursuing this Warspite. By now we've whittled him down. I've already got 30,000 damage. All of it has been against the Warspite. And so I just keep throwing shells at this poor guy. There's a 12,000 hit point salvo. If I haven't talked about my secondaries, I'm talking about them now. The Richelieu has pretty decent secondaries for its tier. They're not Bismarck good, so let's not get too excited. But you can deliver some damage with them. If you look at the turrets, they're about the size of cruiser turrets. There's 3 of them there on the back of the ship. And look at that, I get the Close Quarters Expert Medal. And that is the award you get when you kill a ship with your secondary battery, which is what I've just done. I've got a squadron of torpedo bombers coming in. I focus my anti-aircraft guns on the port side, and I turn towards these torpedoes, hoping to dodge them, which it looks like, because of the Richelieu's maneuverability and because my speed boost was on, and because I started the corner early enough. I cannot stress that enough. You've got to be watching for airplanes all the time, and if you start that corner, ooh, that carrier just snuck behind an island. Clever. Anyway, if you start your corner earlier, if you can see the planes coming up, you can start your corners earlier and do better. Here comes a set of bombers, right? So just constantly under attack by these airplanes. I see the Ranger, and I throw a salvo of AP shells at him. Great bomb hit on his part. I think that was 8,000 damage, and I'm on fire. Neither of those are things that I'm very excited about. But with me being so close to that aircraft carrier, he knows he's in big trouble. Unless he can put a hurting on me pretty fast. And I think, although I should watch and pay attention, it looks like I'm getting both Ranger and, is it the Vesser? I don't know which, or maybe it's the Parseval. There's a German carrier on the enemy team as well. By this point, my team, oh my goodness, 24,000 damage. My team has cleaned up on the other ships in the match. You'll note we didn't dive in on the caps, but we stayed alive, and we dished it up on the other ships that were in the west half of the map. And so that's one of those things where I talked several videos ago about sometimes your cap points are worth less than your hit points. And in battle like this, which has a reduced hit point pool, boom, gotcha, carrier. Cap points are worth something, yes, but your hit points are particularly precious. And so I continue to pursue this. As soon as we kill the Ranger, we see the German carrier there, which looks like it's the Parseval. And he's broadside to me, although, carriers are so lightly armored, broadside, not broadside. you know, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pen that ship, although broadside makes it a little bit easier to hit them. So he's turning away because he's not a dummy. And again, planes just continuing to pour at me. Right now, 42 planes killed, 100,000 damage on the clock, only one Citadel, but big hits throughout the whole match. The Graf Spee has been with me this whole time, shooting over my shoulder. You know, we've done a really good job of side-kicking one another. I think the Graf Spee was a pretty collaborative player, and good player there. I'm sure that in other matches he would be great. So kudos to that guy. I think I gave him a compliment for being a cool guy after this match. But here's the Parsifal's secondaries. German carriers, some of them have pretty decent secondaries. And so as I get closer, I'm getting gunned down by secondary gunners off of this German carrier. So many planes have come and fired off at my ship. And here comes a big salvo. Will it be the game winner? Not yet. Nope, he gets to live for at least another 30, 25 seconds. I've got bombers taken off from his plane. His torp bombers are going back in. Like, this is a frantic moment in the life of a CV captain where they know they're going to get killed. But the question is, what can they do in the meantime? And unfortunately for him, of course, it's 4 ships versus 1 at this point. It's all kinds of over. This has to be the last salvo. And there it is. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it educational or entertaining, or maybe you just got it out for those carrier captains and it was cool to watch Clyde dump 2 of them in the Richelieu. If you enjoyed this video, like I said before, please hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend. That way you'll never miss another play-by-play. And if you can't wait for the next video, go check out the other videos that I've already got uploaded to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Always sail with friends, and please take care of each other. We'll catch you guys on the next video, captains.